am not at all religious, but when I'm in a drum circle, and if you're a musician, you probably know this experience, there is a point at which the music plays you. Now, there's some neuroscience behind why that really happens. There's something, our brain, oftentimes, our subconscious makes choices and causes actions that we then later rationalize, right? The backwards rationalization kind of thing. But when we're playing music and we're in sync with it, if something suddenly changes in the music, our bodies will respond before we become aware that we're doing it. And I have a
Ah,
specific experience of that. So I'm here in Calgary at some DJ event, just in a nightclub, and I play along, right?
mhm.
This isn't about me having ego and saying, see, I've got a drum.
Right,
Nobody
right.
can hear me. Nobody can even hear it, and I'm totally okay with that. In fact, I kind of prefer it because I'm really not great at drumming. So I'm not good at it. Nobody would pay me for it. But when I do it, it's as close as I come to really feeling connected with a higher power, even though I don't believe whatsoever in higher powers.
Right.
But it's really special because it's like, but, but, and then suddenly she stops the record. Like oftentimes in electronic music, it's like it rises and falls, it rises and falls. There's buildups, and sometimes it's just boom. They stop without warning, and then everybody's like this, and then it starts again on
Yeah, yeah.
beat from silence.
Correct,
And
correct. The expected beat that was coming up, there's silence and gap, but we all knew that beat that's about to come.
right, not only that it's about to come, it's about to come back on beat as though it never stopped.
On beat, yes.
So the experience for me, and I didn't do any musical training at all as a kid. I was like 35 when I picked up a drum and became sort of addicted to doing it, especially drum circles. But um, in that situation, I'm playing along. She stops. I didn't know she was going to stop, but I stopped. Right. So it's like,
Ooh.
so it's a small hand drum playing along, playing along. She stops, and by the time, long before I realized consciously that I had
Yeah, yeah,
stopped, I had already stopped, which meant I was in sync with that. That meant there was a
exactly.
part of my brain which was faster than me, and what it feels like, let's make this a voodoo thing, probably whatever the actual experience of possession is in voodoo. If you watch like Serpent and the Rainbow or whatever, it's probably exactly this. I'm not playing the music is playing me.
Sure, sure, sure.
Hmm.
I love that example. I think that is, I think that's great. And I think there are times that, you know, I, I should say I was an arrogant little kid. Just overly confident. I was arrogant. And I used to say that I'm in the groove of
Hmm.
life. This is between 17 and 24. I was just in the groove, Tim. It was just nothing, and again, this is in Marine Corps, this is going to the Gulf War, this is all that, but I was just, and I should just, and that's what I should say. People are like, what are you doing? And I go, whatever's happening, I'm flowing with it.
Hmm.
The good parts I'm flowing, the bad parts I flowed with it is zero resistance. It's just real smooth. I'm understanding what needs to happen when I do, and I don't worry about things that I don't need to it either. It was just coming. So I get it. And musically, I would say the same as well. I played the saxophone all my life, and as a matter of fact, my daughter called me yesterday and said, "Dad, I have an event next year. I want you to play the saxophone." And I was like, honey, I haven't played in like 4 or 5 years. She goes, I know, but I remember growing up, you always played. So can you? I'm like, fine. So I'm going to buy a new saxophone and I'm going to play this next year. But I get it. I think you're right. Music does play us when we're in sync, right?
Right.
And like you said, subconsciously in sync.